Welcome to another Leader video news update. And to celebrate Friday the 13th, I'm not wearing a suit, but a man who is wearing a suit is the editor of the Moonee Valley Leader, James Twining. James, hello.
Hello, John. No black cats here, just a black tie today, mate.
Fabulous, fabulous. Let's get in and start talking about the news in the area. And there's a bit of controversy about some apartment blocks that have been proposed for the racecourse site.
That's right, John. It's the latest update on the Moonee Valley Racecourse development, which has caused all sorts of controversy in the Moonee Ponds area. That is, of course, the racing club's plan to build 4 20-storey apartment towers, potentially bringing in an extra 6,000 residents, because there's also townhouses included in that. We've now learnt that the first of the all-important community consultation meetings the racing club is hosting will be in early June. They've set 3 dates for meetings to give everybody a chance to come along and have their say on the development. We've already heard from politicians, Bill Shorten and Kelvin Thompson have expressed their concern at the density of the proposal, which the racing club says is vital for their economic viability going into the next 20 years. This is going to be a long-term issue. We're not going to see any approvals, I think, for quite some time just yet, because the club is still finalising its overall master plan, which it will then present to Moonee Valley Council. But very important news for those who do have an interest in this, that they are being encouraged to head along to these consultation meetings.
Fabulous. If we move from news to sport, or sport news to more sport, if that's actually a word, the coach of Avondale Heights has blasted both his team and himself over fitness concerns, which one could expect possibly from a coach of a suburban footy team, but possibly not in the Avondale Heights team, given who this coach is. Tell us the story.
Yeah, Sam Landsberg has had a chat to Chris Johnson, the coach of the Avondale Heights team, who says he's struggling a little bit with his own fitness at the moment. So we have to remember that Chris is, of course, a 3-time premiership player with the Brisbane Lions, and he reckons that he's struggling a little bit in the top flight of the Essendon District Football League. Avondale Heights, 1 win from 4 games at the moment. They go into round 5 in 6th position. So the pressure is on the team at the moment to try and get a couple more wins under their belt. They play Keilor on the weekends, but a pretty interesting revelation there from the coach that he isn't quite able to keep up at the moment.
And the EDFL is becoming quite stacked with former AFL footballers, so you'd expect the fitness level might jump a few paces.
Of course, these are retired AFL footballers, so a couple of them have been in a pretty good paddock, I understand, since they've left the top flights. But in saying that, they are, of course, very valuable members of these teams with the experience that they bring. So it's, I'm sure that Avondale Heights fan will be looking for Chris to lift this weekend.
And also bring more crowds to the EDFL, which can only be a good thing. And you can read more about the EDFL and the suburban local footy across Melbourne at localfooty.com.au. Let's turn to entertainment, and it's a special time when anyone makes the 100-year-old milestone. But one gentleman in particular, who's been a fabric of Melbourne entertainment for quite a few years. Tell us about him.
Yeah, a bit of change of pace for us this week, John. Fred Hosking, who was an Essendon local, he turns 100 on Monday. Fred was a big part of the big band era in Melbourne and the live variety television shows. He was a member of the Melbourne Tonight, which we remember was with Graham Kennedy and Bert Newton. He was a band member there. He also was part of the bands that played with Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. during their Australian tours. So we've had a bit of a chat to him on the eve of his big milestone. Interesting enough that he is still teaching students 3 times a week, which is pretty remarkable considering he's about to hit 3 figures. So a really fascinating bloke. We also had a chat to a couple of his ex-Channel 9 mates who knew him during the 50s and 60s to find out what sort of player he was.
And you can find out about that story and many more in the Moonee Valley Leader newspaper at mooneevalleyleader.com.au, or follow our Twitter feed at, and I'm going to get it right this week, at MVLeader, twitter.com/MVLeader. Thank you, James, for joining us today.
Thanks, John.